Help me run now, help me run now. I love that.
From Johnny 5.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of.
I'm going to play the intro now.
Okay.
All right.
Well.
Welcome back to the Positively Negative podcast.
Where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of positivity in a world that can be quite negative.
I'm Delio.
And I'm Team Humble.
And we're glad you're here. I love that. That can stay.
Okay.
The cackle, though.
That can stay.
The cackle.
I hate it so much.
I know.
I keep forgetting, though, like, until the very moment where we listen back, and I'm like, as soon as you're like, I'm Delio, I'm like, ooh.
The cringe is real.
I know. Hi.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hello.
I'm recording a little bit late this week because life.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's okay. We'll see how long my voice lasts.
Yeah.
I woke up feeling like a Yeti.
Yeah, we were ill yesterday. I think yesterday was worse than today. Like last night, I felt really heady and fluey.
I feel like I'm peeking out today.
Are you peeking out? You're in the red.
I'm in the red, baby.
Peeking out. Bring those DB health levels down.
Excuse the ASMR sick person that this episode might turn into.
Hey, you were hacking last night. Har.
I know. It's bad. It moved from my nasal nose into my throat, and now it's in my chest.
Your nasal nose.
That's the proper medical term.
Nasal nose.
Excuse me, ma'am. We've gotten the test results back. It seems you have a problem with your nasal nose region.
Oh, that's $2,000. Bye-bye.
Yeah, no joke. Don't trigger me like that. Doctor's the worst, man.
So, Positively Negative. We didn't do a product sense last week. We just not feeling it. There wasn't any news out from Steam Hunt either, so there is now news of a Fellowship of the Ring style thing going on with some Rebel Alliance. So we need to talk about that in product sense at some point. But today, we're doing Positively Negative. Any particular positives? I haven't got many.
Oh no! Wow, it's my birthday soon. I'm looking forward to that.
Happy birthday, Bezos.
It's coming up.
When is that? Like a couple of a week?
Come on.
Oh.
You're kidding me, right?
It's real quick.
So my birthday's on Monday. I'm kind of excited to be 31. I'm working on...
What the hell was that?
Just dropped my phone. My phone.
You're working on getting a new phone.
We're professional podcast people. No, I wanted to... There's a podcaster I listen to. He's also a stand-up comedian. His name is Ron Funches. And I thought it was kind of like a meme or a joke in the beginning, but it turns out that he actually is very seriously, legitimately into vision boards. And he regularly sits down and has arts and crafts session where he makes a vision board. And for this year, I was listening to the old backlog of his episodes. I thought this was such a cool idea. For New Year's, he had a huge New Year's party with not huge, but with his closest family and friends, and they all he had all these art supplies out, and they all made vision boards together.
Vision boards.
Yeah, so if you don't know what a vision board is, it's basically you can think of it practically in the Gary Vee sense, where it's just a list of your goals and the things you want to achieve for the year, and it's a way of keeping that in front of you, keeping focused on it. And for mystical people, it's a way of manifesting your destiny through intention. So I think it's a little bit of both. I do think it's powerful, the things that you that you put in your focus and keep reminding yourself that you want to get toward.
Sure.
Because distraction economy is real these days in 2019.
Yeah.
So all of that to say, I was like, man, I want to make a vision board, but also I don't want to buy poster board and paper and magazines, art supplies. So I was like, what could the digital version of that be? So I'm working on a little card site that I'm hoping can turn into, if it turns out nicely, it can turn into a template.
I love how you're nearly 31, but you have a face that lights up like a 16-year-old when it's like, I can do stuff with my hands.
Arts and crafts. I love arts and crafts, man.
I know.
But it's just not logistically possible at the minute. And it's just not financially or ecologically smart to just rip up a bunch of paper for a vision board. So I'm like, okay, what's a 2019 digital version of that? So I want to make like a little landing page website, and if it's a theme, I think it could be really cool because people can, you could literally, like, anybody could make a card site. Like a 10-year-old could make a card site, upload some pictures, and then just have that link open. Maybe have that like automatically open as your landing page in the morning, like when you open up your browser.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
You know what I mean? Like your goals. And so for me, my new year is February 25th, because that's going to be my new year of my birth. So that's something I'm working on and I'm excited about. And it's like, you know, not a big project. It's not gonna make me Lambo rich, but it's something that like I've been chipping away at the end of the day, and it's been making me happy to work on. So
that's the perfect thing about cards. The CARRD.co.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Not only for making little landing pages, little websites. It's got like a bunch of widgets and embeds and things and stuff. And me and Dell made a little standalone thing that has like 15 templates on it, but it's just cool. Like, it's cool to make stuff. Like, if you have an idea and you want to just not spend too much time on it, and you want to do like a little MVP, a little minimum viable product in your head of like, oh, I want to just throw this up, so like I know, like I've signed off on it, I've done it. How many times have you been sat in a bar or a pub and like, oh, I should totally do that, and then you never do it?
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got a page, a landing page with all the attributes on it, like when you're on a live stream or you're chatting or you're on Twitter or you're on Periscope, you can be like, check this URL out.
Yeah.
Because you don't get it all across on a live stream.
Yeah, that's true.
So it gives something to come back on, or people to look at it and then tweet you back or send you a message, you know?
It's like like you said, the barrier to entry is so low because there's no, like, I would never do this in the WordPress days because it's like, oh crap, now I gotta find a hosting situation that's a monthly bill. What's the domain going to be? I mean, if you don't even want to buy a domain, you can use a card domain, and hosting is free. So like anything that you have like an idea about or just like want to share, even on like a one pager, just like chuck a card up. Like I just absolutely love how quick and easy that is. So
the thing I liked about discovering card, I think I found it through you, or we found it through Steamhunt or wherever, but like, the thing I like about it is the pricing is super reasonable. I think it's like $19 a year for the basic thing to have like 3 themes in there, right? And even the big package is $99 for the whole year, like $100 for 100 sites you can have on there.
I know,
which is fire.
Yeah.
Like, I think I upgraded mine, it was like $45. I think we upgraded yours, it was like 21. So we got it like running for another year, and we made the money back from one of our first clients.
Yeah.
For the hosting. So like, I don't know, just getting away from having direct debits and multiple bills, and I really like that about the cloud. The cloud has evolved using some business practices with like the SaaS methodology of like a service in the cloud, and I like that. I like that business model because it kind of, the stuff that you're not interested in doing as a creative, the last thing you want to do is get bogged down with like DNS and hosting and domain names and all that shit. It's boring. I know. So boring. It's the stuff I also hate to talk to clients about, because it's like, then you have to educate them on those things and they really don't care.
Yeah. But like,
they don't want to.
And also it just opens it up to be like, even the ones that say that they're easy, like Carly Kloss is going to tell you all damn day that Wix is like the easiest way to make a website or whatever. Like, it's not going to be easy enough that like a mom could be like, oh, Johnny's 6-year-old birthday party is going to be this weekend. Let me just throw a site up so that, you know, I can just text all the moms and say, go here, time, place, date, done. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to, I just like the idea of, if we're done with like the website age, I think the next generation of that is just like bulletin, just like pegboard bulletin websites that are just have like a little bit of information, or hi, this is what I do, here's how to reach me, here's all my social links. Like, that's really...
Well, it makes sense for everything to be almost widgetized, right? In the same way that you can drag and drop in card. I can totally imagine the next generation of see-through community board that is in the street, and you just walk up with your phone and you kind of like swipe your advert onto the... You know what I mean? So like, I feel like... I think that's the way it'll go. Carly Kloss will still be selling it though, because she's got mad eye game.
Not really though.
She does.
Not really.
She's a coder.
Hi, I'm Carly Kloss, and this is how you make your website with Wix. Girl, not today.
She's got a good.
It's really easy. I like changing the background. Can't handle her.
She's great. She's great. She's a good like inspiration.
No hate to her
kids.
as a human being.
No, she does coding as well. You know, she's a coder.
Then why is she? Well,
she's making
hey,
coin.
Get that bread, girl. But
she's making bread. She knows that she's only got X amount of years of modeling stuff. So
I'm Carly Kloss. It's fine. I think anybody, it could be Mahatma Gandhi. If you see him in enough Squarespace ads or Wix commercials, you're just gonna end up hating them. It's just a repetition thing. But that's my little positive of the week. I think
that's cool.
Yeah, I gave myself some permission to get into some creative projects because 2 weeks ago we were hardcore hustling to get our card site up. Then and it ended up that like client work was slow that week. Then client work came like a fucking wrecking ball after that. So then that second work. So I'm feeling like I'm striking a nice like medium.
Happy medium.
Yeah, where I'm doing like a couple hours client work, and then in the afternoon I'm just like doing like, you know, goofy shit that I like.
Goofy shit.
Like making t-shirts and digital vision
boards.
That
t-shirt looked pretty good. You're getting a bit further with that.
Yeah. So I'm taking a t-shirt, the very first t-shirt that I ever designed. I think I was 16 or 17 years old. And I elected into a printmaking class. And it was a class that wasn't even supposed to exist because not enough people wanted to take it.
Oh.
And I went to the teacher and I was like, please, you gotta teach us this class. And she was like, there's not enough people. It doesn't make sense for my block. And I was like, just put us into your regular art class and we'll just like sit in the corner and do our own projects. And she was like, all right. So we were like a subset under this class that was happening. That was like a traditional art class. Because I had already taken all the art classes and there were none left for me to take. So I was like, I had to get her to invent more art classes for me.
Oh, shit.
Meanwhile, I'm failing math miserably. But, yeah, so that was like the very first time that it was explained to me, like, this is what a logo is, this is what a lineograph is, like, these are the different types of ways
screen printing.
Yeah, screen printing and different things like that. And I was like, please let us make t-shirts. That was my whole aim from the beginning of being like, printing class, I can make t-shirts. We need to make t-shirts. And that was like, I was just dead set on making t-shirts the whole time. So finally convinced her to let us have like a t-shirt making section, and I made this shirt that's like this weird Tim Burton cupcake looking thing that said Crazy Delicious, which was a play off of an old Saturday Night Live sketch, the very first digital short that they ever did. And I love that shirt. It like, you know, the things that you make and you love like leave you for a while and then they come back to you. I don't know how it came back into my life, but it's in regular rotation now and it's absolutely falling apart. So I was like, why don't I take a photo of this design, which obviously the original is long gone, the screen and everything, and let me try to vectorize it. So I've literally been going in and retracing all of the shapes in Illustrator, and I want it'll be like my little nerdgasm to bring it full circle and have it like put it up on our shirt site and have it reprinted. With like a Gumroad integration
with digital tools.
And yeah, exactly. From like screen print analogness to that. So that's another little project that I'm working on. Again, not gonna make me rich, but it'll make me happy. So yeah, that's another one that's been, it's just like those, you know what it's like, those little things like when you're setting up streaming stuff.
I compiled OBS.
You did. That's what I was just gonna say. The other day I look over and Phil's screen is like, actually I think I was in the other room. I came in and I was like, oh, and it looked like the Matrix. Like there was just code pouring down from a terminal, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's kind of like when things frustrate me. Like I couldn't work out why, when you switch between scenes, my computer seems to like freeze up. So I was like, there's got to be some reason for this. It's got to be and so I tend to go and get the latest, what's called source code, like the latest up to date code, and so you can do this thing like checking out that code from GitHub. So it's like grabbing the latest version of the code, and then there's a variety of different commands. I was just following commands really to compile the code. And so I have the latest version that's not even on the website yet. So what tends to happen is the developers will create binaries, like versions that you click on a website and download a version, it just installs. You don't have to do the source code stuff. So yeah, it was like stepping through and doing that. It's always a bit of like a head twister because you're seeing all this stuff like going up the screen because it's compiling all the elements together.
Oh, libraries and everything.
Yeah, and there's a few things missing, but it is a lot faster than the version before it. But I'm trying to get a bit of help on... I only need one plugin that's not working at the minute, which is the OBS browser, which I think the OBS browser from the previous version has been changed for some kind of Chromium URL. Because all it's doing, when you give it a URL, it goes and grabs the web page.
Right.
So it's effectively like a mini web browser.
Just it's like a skin, right?
Yeah, it's like a mini web browser inside of OBS. So for some reason, they've swapped it from one version to another one. And I can't find a way to compile that in yet. Maybe it doesn't work with the infrastructure of the new version, which
Maybe
is...
that's why they haven't pushed it yet to the site.
That's often the case. So...
Yeah.
But it is faster and it's better. I often find it better to compile it on your own machine. So it's always nice to get that working because it's kind of like, in my mind, it's like, oh, that fixes this problem. So it's obviously a bug in that software or yada yada.
Yeah.
So that was good.
There's like a certain amount of satisfaction I think we both get from that type of stuff. Like I found that Notion app this week, and within like 2 days my entire life was inside of this like little organizer app.
It's funny how you get attracted to certain things that will solve, you taking for it, and that seems to happen faster these days. It's like you use 2 or 3 apps and it's like, I wish they did this, and then all of a sudden it comes out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, I don't need
It's
all
like
those.
everyone from the team who got fed up about there being shitty coffee in the coffee room being like,
they move company and just set up a
We'll make
company
our
and
own.
sell it for 300 million 2 years later.
Yeah.
That'll be nice. Can I do that, please?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of a positive. I'm kind of positive about momentum with making these little OBS themes. I like that. I'm digging the roti
Paratha
and the roti breads. Like,
Yeah.
I'm living for that every day. I love making little...
Let's make a video.
What, of the breads?
Yeah, like let's make a video of our process.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we have it down to... You have it down to a science when you can just make it in silence next to the other person. Like, we gotta get into this frequency where you're frying them up, I'm rolling them out, and there's just like the sound of...
I was literally standing there the other day salivating as I was like waiting for you to like pass it over to me. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for that buttery thing. It's so good.
And we found like so many different ways to enjoy them that it's not just like we're sitting around eating plain breads, but they go really well with curries, and we've been having them with like a homemade tzatziki and with soups.
Cucumber and yogurt.
And every time we make them, we're like, oh, I wonder if we could do it like this. When we made a pesto chicken with melted mozzarella.
That pesto chicken was legit.
I'm pretty proud of that because I honestly don't remember the last time I cooked chicken in a pan.
My daughter's really awkward about finishing our food, and she thrashed that.
Yeah, she did. She had that look in her eyes like, what?
This is the best thing you've ever made.
She said that, I know, I could have cried. Oh, my heart.
This is the best thing you've ever made.
I know. and that's with chicken soup in the roster. So it's like, it's just the thing about those breads is they're the perfect delivery system. They're more sturdy than like a wrap. And they're like crispy and flaky, and you get the satisfaction of like having something that's been like baked that has a crust, but we're just frying them up in a pan.
I would so set up a business doing that.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Like a food truck.
We already have a name. That's another project I want to do. Is
do
logo.
that landing page and everything
Make
first.
a landing
Don't
page.
mention it now. Don't mention it.
I won't. But
Something else
when we have an idea, when we're excited about an idea, is when we put a landing page up about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could register both domains and just link, because you could take a copy of it in card and just link them to and decide on it. Get people to decide on what name and what logo. Like an A/B split testing thing.
Yeah.
What
time are we at? I want to go
20
through
minutes.
some Flipboard with you.
Go for it.
Is that cool?
Yeah, I'll do it.
So we actually have a positively negative Flipboard.
Oh.
It's an official positively negative Flipboard.
On flipboard.com.
And I feel like you got more into being like a daily Flipboard power user because of your iPad mini days.
Yeah, that's
it's like
right.
such a better experience on that. I enjoy Flipboard, but I think I would use it more if I had an iPad.
Well, on the iPad, you get like 3 or 4 at once.
Right. You actually feel like you're flipping through something.
It feels like a newspaper, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we have this, and I'm like super negligent. I don't ever really look at it, so that when I log in, it'll be like, Phil Campbell added 48 new articles to Flipboard. I'm like, you know what? Let's just catch up, and we're gonna flip through some of these.
I do put a lot of stuff up there.
There are 616 stories on here currently. 10 of you are following, and it's an open Flipboard for anybody to follow. So if you guys, I think we link that on Anchor.
Yeah.
So there's an article about waterproof shoes. Oh, this is something I actually wanted to talk about with you this morning. This Litho is a finger-worn controller for augmented reality, IoT, and other spatial interactions. It's this weird thing that kind of looks like tech versions of brass knuckles that goes over your like first and middle finger. And we were watching Sushi Dragon, the Twitch streamer, this morning. He's got a million little controllers for what he does. He's got this other little handheld guy called a Twibble, and we were always talking about how like latency always plays a part in this stuff. So this is kind of one of. I wanted to ask if you had seen this.
I've actually played with one of them.
This Litho?
Not that version 1 of that. I think that's like version 2 or 3. But like they were at
the UK company.
I don't know.
Oh, they said something about the British royal family.
I don't know. They were at South by Southwest. I don't know how long ago now, probably 3 or 4 years ago, but really incredible, like millimeter precision.
Really?
Like you can wear it. I think the one that they had before was kind of a bigger thing. It was like a bulkier ring, so I kind of like the idea of it going across. 'Cause it's kind of like a fashion thing.
Yeah.
But maybe they've put additional sensors in it, like haptic feedback or something. But it was unreal. Like you wore it on your finger and you could do that, like you waggle your finger, and it was just like super reactive. Yeah, super reactive. So I guess they're just taking some of the sensors that you get in phones, right? Like the barometer, the GPS, all of that shit, and just putting it into a. Because it makes sense, right? Because if people like wearing bracelets or rings, and you don't need a phone, but you can walk into your house and like point at the Nest and point at the
gestures.
Yeah, it's kind of fire if you think about it.
Damn.
Like if you imagine,
feel like a wizard.
If you imagine, like, remember the Microsoft HoloLens thing? Not the HoloLens thing. The thing that you sat on top of the
Xbox.
Nintendo had one, didn't they? Where like a bar at the top.
Yeah, the sensor, like the receiver for the Wii.
Yeah, the receiver. Imagine having one of those shrunk down into the Nest, so it was always waiting for like gestures.
So what is it receiving? Is it receiving like an infrared signal?
It depends what the sensor is.
I think it's IoT, so like.
No, that just means Internet of Things.
Yeah, I know, but like that means it's connected to the internet.
It's connected to something, yeah.
Or Bluetooth. I don't know, man.
It could be through Wi-Fi. Most of those are through Wi-Fi.
That's what I mean. Like.
So it'd be connected to your local Wi-Fi, and then you do certain gestures to like turn up the sound and shit like that.
I want to be a wizard.
But what I'm saying is. Where the real application I think is building a similar kind of hollow sensor thing into like Nest, so you don't have to wear any of it. You can do certain. It's waiting for certain, like actions in front of certain devices like your fridge and whatever. But then anybody could do it, I guess.
Well, yeah, there's
turn off the alarm. Like so.
This is not the security system you're looking for.
Although Nest, I know there's a big thing at the minute is that I don't know if it's in that news section, but Nest's in trouble because their latest camera, there's a mic in it that nobody knew about, and so they're in deep shit right now because it's like, oh, sorry, we didn't tell you that this has a mic in it. So
what, dude? I don't know. Well, that's what we were talking about. The
how can you put a product out and be like, oh yeah, sorry, there's a mic that we didn't tell you about that's in it? Like
this thing that you have, connected to the internet, connected to our servers.
I'm trying to think what it. I'll see if I can bring it up quickly while we're talking.
Yikes! Oh, Peach! Wow, remember Peach?
Yeah. Just pull that up.
Okay, yeah. So this article says Peach isn't dead yet by The Verge. It was wow. I don't really remember the logo.
Google built a microphone into its Nest security system, and then forgot to tell anybody.
Wait, I didn't know Nest was owned by Google.
Yeah, they bought it. Yeah.
Oh, well, that changes everything. Because they're connecting.
Well, they're in
to
court.
everything.
They're in court. Google says the built-in microphone it never told Nest users about was never supposed to be a secret. So,
Yeah, but like, also, when do you announce it if you don't announce it in the beginning?
How do you start a line like this? The on-device microphone was never intended to be a secret and should have been listed in the tech specs. The person said that was an error on our part. How do you get away with that?
So just the copy editor missed that part?
How do you get away with that? That's like saying, I've got a car for sale, but that's my granddad in the back seat. But it's not in the...
You'll realize when you get home and open the trunk.
It's just a fucking...
Wow.
How do they get away with this stuff?
I'm telling you, Google's up to something nefarious, I think, because... they're also like very, very closely tied to 23andMe, which is collecting our DNA and storing it for a future so they could sell it back to us for eternal youth. I think there's a whole bunch going on, but it's like so funny that it's become like a meme that these companies are shady and they just like keep doing it. Like when Facebook dropped that little thing that's supposed to sit in your kitchen, that little like I guess it's their version of like an Alexa, right? That
Google Home or something, is it?
No, Facebook's one.
Oh,
When
yeah,
Facebook
yeah,
dropped
yeah.
it and everyone was like, oh,
Yeah.
lol, the company who leaked all of our information. Cool. Yeah, we'll put one in our house. Sign me up.
But it's not that concern. What gets me is what gets me is I know the conversation goes like this, right? They walk into a room full of lawyers and whatever, and it's like, oh, you've been caught with leaking data. This court case will last for 2 or 3 years. Okay, so am I okay to release this product that has a similar mic in, because obviously we're losing all the traffic from people who are leaving now. Let's sell a product to the millennials who don't read the news and don't care about this, and that way, like, this court case will give us another 3 years. I feel like they take liberty with people's awareness
Well, it's like that.
of issues and vulnerabilities, and they know they're going to be wrapped up for 2 or 3 years with a court case because it goes to high court or whatever, and so they seem to like. I seem to see like
They build it in.
why would you
as
even
part of the strategy.
why would you even release a product? Like if you're in trouble, right? If you're in trouble because you've leaked all this data, the first thing you're gonna want to
You're talking about Facebook.
I'm talking about Facebook.
Yeah,
the first thing you want to do is you want to build trust up again. Not be like,
Nope.
oh, sorry, we leaked your data. By the way, we have this new piece of hardware. It's got a mic in it. Oh, but we didn't put it in the specs. It's all right. It's all right. Just use it.
Because
just buy it.
that's because they have so much money.
Because
and
we're
so
gullible.
they can,
That's why.
Yeah, and it's also like it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. That's all it is. Because they know they'll bounce back. They know they have the lawyers. They're lawyered up enough to just play that game forever. And so it's like, but then also within the scope of that, they still have to hit their quarterly numbers. So it's like, okay, well, next. Thank you, next. I don't know, but like, I don't know how like.
Yeah, but it's almost like they've you could apply the same logic to, all right, so you didn't tell us about the microphone in the specs. You're also not telling us about your climate change
that's
specifications with your business, are you?
No.
You know, you're not like, oh, Google's like, you can put out the occasional nice video that you've managed to get some local interns to record the video for you about your sustainability, but I guarantee you globally, like, nah, mate.
I mean,
trust issues,
does
man.
the
I don't
Lemetric
trust
have a
any
mic?
of these. Yeah, I don't know, probably. Probably. Can I podcast through it? I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, it also makes me
It's
think
not on the
about-
network, though. It's not, right now, it's not on the network, so it won't connect to hidden SSIDs, so.
Oh, okay. We keep our shit hidden. No, but it also reminds me of this weekend with Bella. Like, we were talking, I was showing her how when you record a live video with an iPhone, that it records your audio in advance.
Oh, that freaked her out.
Right. And like that kind of became like a little bit of a meme because Shane Dawson did
She didn't get
a
it first.
series of it. But I was like, so if you haven't heard about it, there's like this big video series that came out with Shane Dawson. He's a YouTuber. He did these conspiracy videos, and one of them was the fact that if you have an iPhone with live video and you open up your phone, you can speak and you know, say like you count down from 5, so you say 5, 4, 3, 2, and then on 1 take the photo. Well, when you go back and watch it, it's got your countdown in it, but you didn't hit the photo button until 1. So where did 4 through 2 come from? Like it took a couple times, you're right, like to show her that it was coming down that way, but I was like, so doesn't that prove that they're always listening? And she was like, oh, that's freaky. You know?
She didn't understand at first like what you were trying to prove to her by doing it, but like.
And they say they don't store any of that, and maybe they're just like always recording the 5 seconds before and after or whatever. But like
the fact that it's always, well, it must be always listening, right? For 5 or 10 seconds even.
When you have, maybe only when you have the camera. I would hope only when you have the camera app on.
Yeah, but who's to say that they're not like storing every 10 seconds for a minute and then later on uploading it somewhere?
Well, and also like when I have it turned off, but like what about when people have Hey Siri turned on? How does it know that you're saying Hey Siri? How does it know to listen to that if it's not always listening to that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So what's the big beef here? The beef is that beef is that
privacy
people
being used in the wrong way. Like,
but that's the whole joke about it, is that people have never given less of a fuck about their privacy as now. People are live streaming their entire lives, posting on Instagram, posting their location, showing everything live, and it's like it's never been easier for companies to do any of this stuff because people are really at base level okay with it. But it's the subterfuge that I don't like. It's the like not knowing that there's a mic in your device. If they had announced there was a mic in the device, do you think sales would have changed at all? No. People would have still bought the damn things. So
yeah,
like,
what's
with the shadiness?
Well,
like,
because other things at the time were probably getting flack for microphones and listening and privacy, so they just kept it quiet because they didn't want it to affect their sales, like you said. Yeah. But that's somebody in sales making that decision.
Yeah.
That's somebody who like passes the design thing to you to say this is the spec of it. It's a bit like some of your clients and clients we've had in the past where things go out and then all of a sudden lawyers get hold of it and it's like, you can't say this because it's not true. But it's like the product's out there, the product's already been bought. It's kind of like
yeah
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's
the storytelling for me, social media storytelling for me should be the things that you're doing better than everybody else.
Right.
Like, oh, we didn't, our lawyers have told us this. We're, where's the I've never seen a product lawyer on a live stream sitting with the team being like yada yada yada. So they're in the shadows, man, playing the money game.
Yeah, because they're word wizards. That's the thing about, that's a good thing that you brought up was like dealing with packaging this week. Like one of my packaging clients had to go through and they had to reevaluate what their labels claimed that they could do in the skincare realm. And you can't make any direct claims unless there are independent studies that have been done that show this happens 100%. So you can't say, this reduces wrinkles. You can say, this reduces the appearance of wrinkles. But, like, that's what lawyers know how to do. That's why they get paid $150 an hour, because they know how to, like, change the copy and weasel around. I shouldn't say weasel.
This reduces the appearance of a microphone.
Nest 2.0.
Yeah. Get on that.
Increases the appearance of your anonymity.
Get on that, Nest. Could be a microphone.
Everything at Best Buy from now on
changes your appearance of the Nest brand.
Everything
could be a
that
microphone.
Amazon sells, everything at Best Buy should just have a standard sticker that says "could contain a microphone."
I guess we wouldn't have anything to be angry about though if everybody did the right thing, right?
Well, I mean, what about your life would change?
Bars may shut down because nobody would be able to be pissed about anything at the bar with the barman.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to sit at a barman and drink 7 pints and be like, everything's great.
Yeah.
Everything works perfectly. All my copy for my products is fine. Life is good. You probably have 1 pint and leave.
Yeah, and then if you
alcohol business would be, if we didn't have errors and issues and lawyers, then drinking and alcohol would probably go out the window because we wouldn't have any reason to drink because everything would be too good.
Alcohol is such a funny one economically because it's the only industry that does really well when things are going bad and really well when things are going good. Like what?
Yeah.
Like what kind of cosmic loophole did alcohol industry find itself in that like they win in either way? If you're homeless or if you bought a mansion, either way you drinking that night.
I would love to see Corona do a really good advert about like, I don't know, drop shipping some Corona across Trump's wall.
Oh damn.
You know what I mean? Like just some kind of like, we have aeroplanes in Mexico.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I would love that. They would do so well, like a PUBG, Apex, Corona
Where's Corona
mashup.
really from? Like Wisconsin? Like really, where's Corona headquarters at? Is it really south of the border? Is that just in the
Their power
commercials?
move was like showing people that you could put a piece of lemon or lime in it. Like it's
Yo, the lime industry was never happier than when Corona came along.
It's like we need to shift some limes. Oh, just stick it in the beer.
Also, isn't
genius.
that funny? Like, isn't that kind of a testament to an inferior product that you, at base level, need a lime in order to enjoy
Yeah, exactly.
it?
Yeah.
Like, it was so good because, like, Corona got a bunch of market feedback and people were like, oh, it's not so good. And they were like, let's not change the recipe or make it better. Well, just add limes.
There you go. That's a good social strategy for you today. If you are a competitor to the Nest security system, all you have to do today is get onto Instagram with your Canva and show your product, and then put a plus sign and then a picture of a microphone next to it. Be like, special offer for podcasters, security system and a free microphone for free, and we're letting you know about it.
Wow, you're always podcasting and we'll upload it to the cloud for you and everything.
I'm such an OG when it comes to upselling somebody else's hypocrisy. I love that.
Oh God, packaged hypocrisy.
Yeah, that could be a good name for a strategy business as well.
That's our fourth podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think I don't forget those things. You know,
No.
that I don't forget those things. So that affects my brand choices. You know, like,
Yeah.
and it also affects the things I want to use. Like, I think I've gradually started to regress from technology. The more stuff gets pushed out because it's relevant for the moment. Because I know within a window of time it's going to be, you know, it's going to come back and it's going to break or something. Just this morning, WinRAR.
Oh no.
A 14-year-old program
Oh no.
has turned out that it uses an old DLL, which is like a dynamically linked library, which is like a Windows
Dynamically limp.
library. It's a bit like me, a bit like me in the morning. Oh, baby. And the library hasn't been updated since 2005, and it's like vulnerable and everything.
Cool.
And they found a way that it just like it can basically install malware onto your machine just by unpacking a zip file.
Good old WinRAR. Who would have known?
But you know, these are all things that have been either rushed out or not updated or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
That's
hard.
a negative, I guess. That's my
I
negatives.
guess. WinRAR is my negative forever.
I want that
Every
on a
episode.
shirt. WinRAR is my negative.
Yeah, it really was.
You know what? We don't have any positive and negative shirts. We need a positive design on the front. Like I know we have a design with positive and negative logo. I think we ripped off a Winamp logo there, but never mind.
Who did we rip off?
We didn't rip anybody off. But it'd be good to have like a positive like ideation on the front and then a negative on the back. So somebody coming toward you, walking towards somebody, you're taking positivity, and then when you walk past them, the negatives on the back.
Oh.
Kind of like that idea.
Well, maybe some magnet imagery. Magnets are so cool, man.
Magnets?
Yeah, dude. Like, you ever think about magnets?
Did you just say, yeah, dude? Did you just look at me straight in the eye and went, yeah, dude? Like, to really convince me about
but,
magnets.
Like, I mean, if you
were trying to sell me magnets then, Liza.
like,
You were like,
if you,
what's wrong with you?
I
Yeah,
just
dude.
sometimes you get past the idea of the thing. Like, there's a concept in philosophy where there's like the idea of a chair, and then there's the actual thing of the chair. But our language is so limited. Don't look at me like that. Our language is so limited that like the idea and the emotions and everything that we've experienced to do with the chair stands in the way of us actually looking at the chair and experiencing the chair for what it is. So I just had that moment with magnets.
Wow. I was only talking about shirts. Front and back of shirts.
It's because WinRAR ran in my system and then unpacked a previous life when I was a philosophy major.
Damn.
This is when Phil checks the time because he's like, get me the hell out of
39
here.
minutes. 39 minutes, 37 seconds. I'm counting away.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say another positive this week is the fact that nearly February is over. I feel like I've got locked into this for the last 3 or 4 years, but I feel like the majority of people in society are like struggling in January to recover from Christmas, and so they get paid at the end of January, and then that they've kind of gone over their credit or whatever, so then February becomes the month where they get themselves back in order at the end of February, and then whoa, I'm getting interference. I don't know what happened.
Sorry, it might have been me.
Yeah, and then
money comes back in the end of February.
yeah, they start like March, April time, they start like putting money aside to go on holiday. And then we normally miss loads of people. They disappear for like, I've noticed that people disappear now for summer holidays for 3 months. Like they don't go for like 2 weeks anymore.
Winter holidays 3 months.
Yeah.
And summer holidays 3 months. And kids are only in school 2 weeks out of the month.
It's crazy. It's like the whole world's like on holiday all the time. So
yeah.
I'd like to get into that kind of frequency, but it's also good for us because I think at the end of Feb, then things start to pick up. March is always busy, like always something happening in March.
Yeah, I feel like March and April are usually pretty good. And like, even just from like a health and morning perspective, it's been so nice to wake up and it's not like
Frozen.
Yeah, it's not frozen. It's not dead dark. Like at least there's a hint that there's maybe going to be a sun that's going to show up for the day. All that stuff I feel like really impacts you when you don't have like the one advantage to the 9 to 5er life is that the whole system runs on that 9 to 5, and so you can just jump into that stream and let it take you. Whereas like I feel like being a freelancer, you need to kind of spin that momentum up for yourself.
Momentum.
And I think a lot of that is built on what the weather's doing, what the stars are doing, what the bread situation is.
Oh, I need to make some more bread. That's another thing that I'm a little bit negative about right now. Not bread, but like I want to know what's happening with Anchor. Like they're not turning on our payments. That's Anchor. They're not turning on our payment signs for our.
Maybe we need to yell it into a nest.
Last.
And they'll hear it.
Yeah. I don't know why, but the last 4 or 5 have just like there's no button anymore. There used to be a button where you could say turn this on for everyone, like turn on the like payment.
Turn
thing.
on ads, right?
Yeah.
So we have pre-recorded ads.
Yeah.
For your ears.
Yeah, I just don't get it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and they're still putting out stuff on social like here's how to record great ads. Like they're still pushing for people to record the ads that they've been given. We did it like immediately.
They just got like 400 million from Spotify, so they're probably like not bothered. Probably shooting up somewhere in some hotel room. Nice. Well, I'm frustrated.
I know, I'm frustrated too. And they keep saying on Twitter, like, yeah, sure, just send us a message. Or, yeah, hey, we'll email you.
Vincent, you work at Anchor. Vincent,
Vinny boy.
Get on get on that Zendesk and answer my goddamn message, will you? Like, just sort it out. Let me know. Or even if it's just like, I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, they're not working right now.
Just let me know if it's just like we're not interested enough, we're not the demographic, whatever. You provide podcast hosting.
We're really for the magnet demographic, actually.
Yeah, we're for the science majors.
Yeah, we into people who like magnets. Excuse me, if you like magnets, please just leave us a message. You can actually message us back on Anchor. And I'm dying for somebody to like just do that one day.
Oh, send a message thing.
Yeah, you can leave like a little voicemail for us, and it doesn't like automatically get played or anything. But
whenever we get a van, whenever we do podcasting daily on the go, because that's what I want to eventually do. I want to get to a point where the podcast is so big it pays us $1,000 a month, right, from sponsorships and just like us being on it every single day.
From a big magnet.
I want to link it. I want to link. What's that? I had a magnet sound there.
I think I'm magnetized.
Yeah, you're magnetizing me by that. Oh. So,
you want to?
I want to get to the point where we have a little micro mixer in the van that we can put the output straight into the phone and record the podcast straight to the phone, so we don't have to do any of this uploading anything.
Yeah.
Because then, if anybody phones in, you can just, on the phone, press play, and we can both hear it through our headphones.
That would be great.
It would be good, wouldn't it?
And we can live stream it, and then we can post it to Instagram, and then we can steam it and re-steam it and drug war it.
Such a...
And everything.
Yeah.
No, I'm in support. Oh, sorry. I'm in support of that. I'm sorry. I'm flailing. I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about magnets now.
That's it.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. We're going to close everything.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, send us $1, buy us a coffee, do something. I mean, just do something.
We are still hungry. We were talking about breads, but like
That's
could
all
use
we're
some
eating.
chickpeas.
We could do with some internal stuff to put in the breads, you know?
Yeah, besides potatoes.
All right, see you later, guys.
You can support the show by heading to anchor.fm/positive and clicking the support this podcast button, or by checking out any of this week's sponsors.
Subscribe to Positively Negative wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can hang out with us on Discord by visiting smarturl.it/talkback.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Yay! Bye!